learning about the business model, and in the doing that you learn to understand that this model is real. However, I tripped over myself for a good year where I was passionate about the products, loved it, shared powerfully around the products. We know the products change lives. That's just absolutely unquestionable. But it was around the business model. I had MLM shame. And I had no clue how to really discuss the business model, how to recruit. And, people don't like the word. I'm sorry. Sooner or later, whether it's done in different words or done, with love, whatever feels right for you, bottom line, if you want to grow this, there is a level of recruitment energy that needs to be there, whether you want to call it sharing with love, whatever you want to call it with. But I couldn't do that because I didn't know how to do it effectively. I also didn't understand the model too much. And that's when Dr. Bob and Kelly said, you know what, you have to go to GoPro. And I did what it took. I said, you know what, I'm going to just commit because I'm so hungry for this event. And I went to GoPro. It changed my life. I literally went in as a consultant. And as soon as I came out of GoPro, I had 7-figure income earner in front of me, Robert Kiyosaki, Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, like you name it, for 3 solid days. And I started to understand what was possible. I got the training that I needed. And my favorite piece was the fact that it was third-party training outside of Organo. So when you have a third-party company that's coming forward with statistics, with facts, with proof on the model, that's when you realize you either step into your power or you don't. And as soon as I came back from that event, it was game over. I was Sapphire in 3 months. I was Ruby in 9, Emerald a year later, all without social media. Still until this day, I don't build on social media. I'll have to start working on that. I have to change that paradigm. And I'm still growing. But I'll tell you right now, I knew that I knew the product worked, and I knew that the business model worked. So I became the queen of events. If you want to shortcut your success, events will drive your business faster than anything else. I became the queen of events, and this is the #1 event I will never miss every year. For those of you that know me, I am so committed to GoPro. I insist on GoPro. I tell every person who's serious about winning in this, GoPro is not even an option. It's mandatory. And this year, more than ever, there is no excuse. You're in the comfort of your phone, your home, your laptop, in your jammies, you name it. But you will now have access to the best training in the world, irrelevant of where you're coming in from, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Mexico. Now we're able to reach the world that we would have never been done before. Do you understand? People had to get visas to be here. People have to buy plane tickets and invest in hotel rooms. There were limiting factors to get people to this event. And this is the first year ever where all those walls, all those barriers are removed. So what does that mean for you? That means if you're new, this is mandatory. If you are a leader, a budding leader, this is mandatory for your team. And the best part yet, there is nothing standing in the way of you and your organization to be a part of this. And that's what I'm super excited about. So I know I got a little bit long-winded there. I'm just so passionate about this event, Dr. Bob, because I know it transforms lives. It did that to many people on my team, and it will continue doing that.
So Diane, if I can just turn back the clock, and I just put extra things in there, because you did GoPro every year.
Every year.
But the year before that was my first GoPro. And so literally, I liked what I had heard. I liked what I read about EricWorre. So I made a big investment. I bought 5 tickets, right? I bought 5 tickets, and I had 5 team members at GoPro, right? Which was awesome. But then EricWorre, the next year, he says, okay, guys, you've proven that we can pack the house. Next year, we're bringing Tony Robbins. We're bringing Sir Richard Branson. This is going to be a very expensive ticket. So basically, if you commit to 100 tickets, you get them at $400 a pop. So I jumped up on stage and committed that 40 grand just like that, which I did every year. And every year they've taken the bar up. But to some degree, I certainly had that same MLM shame, and I needed more MLM certainty. And you and I both get more of that every single week by being in that mastermind. There's a member of that mastermind that's earning $2 million a month. I want you to think about that for a moment. Do you think you can learn something from that person? And let me just put it a different way. Find a way to learn from that person. But, let's look at some of our other notables, right? So Melissa and Jared Brennan launched at GoPro. Sachin and Deepa launched at GoPro. Andrew and Lemore launched at GoPro. Dr. Paul and Nancy launched at GoPro. Rod Norville launched at GoPro. And Emily Morrow, by the way, so we want to formally welcome her as Organo's newest Emerald. We're just a little bit premature. And let me tell you how Emily did it. She did it with all social media, and I'm betting that $50,000 to $60,000 of her $80,000 volume are wholesale customers. They have created an absolute love in the product. They share testimonials. And by the way, Emily consistently uses the term affiliate marketing. Why? Because she hated the term network marketing. It gave her a bad taste in her mouth even to say it. So she brought in, I think so far, well over 100 business partners as affiliates, and very few of them bought packs. They started at wholesale buyers. They fell in love with the product. And she says, you know what? You can also create your own list of affiliates. And she signs them up. So if you've been told, okay, don't sign up wholesale buyers, rethink that. Because $60,000 a month is what Emily Morrow's doing that. And I like the language of affiliates. So we're going to start using that more effectively. But I want you to look, and there's more. We could have taken a picture of Natalie Morse and put her on there and said, look, here's another person that launched. And leader after leader, Pete Cohen launched at GoPro. You start looking, and the people that are doing something in this business, they build from event to event to event, and this is the event. So Diane, where do you see this going from here? How do we start getting people excited? Oh, by the way, do we want to announce a little bit of incentives, right? So we love incentives. If you bought a ticket, awesome. If you rank advance in August, September, October, November, that's going to get you another free ticket. So there are no refunds, but that free ticket you can sell. You also can sell tickets to anybody else that's available. And for that $250, and by the way, here's what Eric said. He says, look, I know people are going to put 20 people in a living room. He says, I'm cool with that. You can pack whatever living room you want. We want to make this the best event ever. And then here's one thing. Oh, wow. So Kelly handed me a note. If you can see the note, I don't even know if I'm camera. Emily Morrow signed up 120 wholesale buyers in August of 2020. Her team Her and her team signed up 120 wholesale buyers in August. So how does that translate into volume? What are the, Emerald. But guess what? She's not staying there long because she has Diamond well in her sights for 2021. She might even get it done before that. So if you haven't found out what her strategy is, every day adding value, every day adding value, every day adding value. So if you rank advance, you're going to get a free ticket to sell. There are no refunds. Pack the house, right? If you bought 10 tickets, awesome. Get those 10 people to pack 10 people in a room. The more people we get, whoever gets the most people to GoPro wins. And oh, by the way, Diane, do you know who got the most people on our team to GoPro the last 3 years?
I think I do.
Do you think you know her name and maybe her son's name and maybe they were welcomed into Diamond Club? Who would that be?
That would be myself, one of the biggest advocates of GoPro Recruiting Mastery. The biggest advocate of GoPro Recruiting Mastery. If you know me, you know that GoPro to me is not negotiable. If you want a different life, if you want to expand, if you want to see things from a different perspective, if you want proof, that was a big one for me. Third-party proof. They don't care whether you're from Organo or Arbonne or whatever. In fact, you're not even allowed to disclose where you're from if you're going live, because it's irrelevant. What's relevant here is how to build the model as a business. So when you understand that people in front of you earning 7 figures and above on pots and pans and press-on nails and all kinds of gadgets, that people don't have the level of emotional connection to the product the way we do, I sat there going, OMG. And guess what? In the mastermind, it's only myself and Dr. Bob in the entire Organo organization getting coached by EricWorre and his 7-figure income earners. What does that tell you? Just on being part of Dr. Bob and Kelly Kowski's team, you are already light years ahead in a company that's young and solid. Look at that combination. Most companies have been around for 30, 40 years. Organos are 13 years in business. So we're not 1 year old where we don't know where that's going to go. We are a solid company going on the next wave of growth. We haven't hit critical mass, and we are the only teams getting coached by the top trainer in the world. Look at all the perfect conditions for the perfect storm. And I'm going to take your line away from you, Dr. Bob. The perfect conditions for the perfect storm for an explosive business that impacts the world at the same time. You just can't, I just don't understand how you can't see it any other way. So that's why I was the biggest, recruiter and advocate of GoPro.
And I always love the way you say things, and we think alike, so every single time I saw someone go on stage, they gave their name, they didn't give their company. And I would say, holy cow, this person's making $1 million a year in pots and pans. Oh my gosh, this person's making $1 million a year in makeup. Oh my gosh, this person's making $1 million a year in overpriced nutraceuticals. I don't know if you've ever looked at some of the other companies' nutraceuticals. I'm pretty sure some of them are pretty good, but price comparison, I use the best professional suppliers on the planet, and I get something that has more punch, and I pay less for it. Now, I'm going to steal a line from Sachin Patel. He says, you know what? I love essential oils. He says, in fact, I'm a buyer of essential oils. He says, so I will buy my $100 bottle of frankincense, but guess what? When I go to Whole Foods, I can get a similar quality oil for 15 bucks. $100, 7x the price. Now let's compare an Organo mocha to a Starbucks mocha. We crush it in flavor, we crush it in health. We're 1/3 the price, we're 1/3 the sugar, we're a mega dose of Ganoderma, we're diabetic friendly. We crush the competition. So it's a beautiful thing. And Diane, you have done such a fantastic job promoting events. And when we had your diamond conversation, one of the things we showed was you had event, and always the big one. And you always grew from the big one. And you were always the best promoter, and success leaves clues. So quickly, what's the next event on your radar before or prior to or aside from GoPro?
We have the event that hasn't been announced yet, but at least that I know of. Organo is doing their online event, a next wave of the next upcoming leaders that are sharing, that are having beautiful results in the business model. We've got new rising stars happening all the time. This is evidence. And most of the people look at this trend. How many people are coming from Dr. Bob and Kelly Rakowski's team in North America? I'm sorry. It speaks the truth. So you're going to see a lot of familiar faces on this next event. We want to support that because we're there to support you. We will match your efforts. That's how this business model works. Hungry, coachable, we will match your efforts. You have an upline invested in you. I don't care how many layers deep you go below. You message Dr. Bob, Kelly, you message me, you're going to get a level of an answer. Go through your upline, figure out what you need to do, but we're here and we'll match your efforts. You got to be there for sure. Organo is doing their event September 28th, is it, Dr. Bob?
I believe that's going to be the replay. The recording will be the week before because they don't record the live, and then they're going to play it. But last time, Organo offered a wonderful special that went with that. They're still working on that, so you can count on a special. And it gave us our biggest first day of the month ever. Our day one, we were over $60,000 after that Zoom. So imagine that being your day one. And the way that works is you plug as many people into that Zoom as you can. So Diane, EricWorre had the Spanish recruiting mastery, right? They had a brief show. How did that go?
Okay, so I want people to know this. So EricWorre, the only way you could have heard EricWorre in another language was you had to fly on a plane, land in Las Vegas, get a visa, pay hotel, pay whatever you have to pay, which for a lot of people in like outside of North America, that's a really big deal. Canada alone, I'm sorry, you know, the US dollar exchange, plus, you know, the fact that flights are more expensive from here. I mean, it was a lot of effort to get our Canadians across the border. We were committed. So this year, EricWorre, for the first time ever, did a Spanish GoPro. Never been done before. Here's what I want to communicate. I had people that would have never been able to qualify for a visa, that would have never been able to afford a plane ticket, much less a hotel, be able to attend the live event in Spanish that had translation and top leaders in Spanish. And it was wonderfully transformational for those leaders that had no opportunity to go to GoPro, much less attend anything EricWorre related, which was so powerful because I saw the transformation after that event. So what I'm trying to communicate here is with this giant global event that's happening, more than 300 people means simultaneous translation. So if there's more than 300 people in GoPro from Italy, which there will be, more than 300 people from, you know, I don't know, different parts of Asia, different parts of Africa. If there are more than 300 groups that speak the same language, they will have live translation on the spot. That's never been done before. So what I'm trying to say is we're going to be able to reach every corner of the globe with this event. Never been done before. If you see what I see, your potential to plug in your leaders across the seas, create leaders, create momentum, now is the time you want to plant those seeds and help them get started right with the right training and the best training in the world.
So their goal is 20 different languages simultaneously, and Eric is very, very, very confident they're going to get it. So how are they going to do that? If you were there last year, they had 4 keynote speakers. They had Grant Cardone that brings in an energy. If you haven't heard Grant Cardone, you know, he's a be obsessed or be average. He is truly obsessed. I mean, EricWorre says, this is a guy that makes me feel like I'm sitting on the couch doing nothing, because Grant Cardone is totally full throttle. They had Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, who I did not even know was at that time, and probably still is, the #1 motivational speaker in the world. And you want to talk about a story. Eric Thomas was homeless and eating out of garbage cans and was a high school dropout. And he literally ultimately got his PhD, a legitimate PhD, not honorary, has written multiple books and earns multiple millions. Then they had Lou Holtz and they had Harvey McKay. Now these guys are mega old school. Harvey McKay is 88 years old and he's in the top 1% in 12 categories. And that includes golf and tennis and marathon and speaking and things like that. And at 88, he's witty, vibrant, seasoned, brilliant, and a great storyteller and sharer. And then Lou Holtz probably stole the show with nonstop comedy and magic and pure tips. So here's what EricWorre said. He says, Bob, you have my guarantee. This year is going to crush last year. I think we had 160 people in attendance. As far as I know, everybody there was beyond thrilled with the value for the dollar. Well, now you're going to get a whole lot more than that. So any words of wisdom to wrap up, Diane? I think I'd like to create a little contest and say anybody who sells, how about 5 tickets this week gets a free ticket?
I love it. Why not?
Okay.
Let's do it.
5 tickets this week.
The price online with EricWorre is $297. We have tickets for $250, and they're going fast. It's only because we're part of the mastermind. So once we sell out, there's nothing we can do to hold that price. But like Dr. Bob said, 5 tickets within your organization, and that grants you a free ticket. Correct, Dr. Bob?
I would say 5 tickets per person, right? So yeah, I get. Are you saying 5 within the organization? So
I don't know. You tell me.
I think it's very reasonable. You know, let's even sweeten the deal. 3 tickets this week.
Okay.
One
so
person, move 3 tickets, you get 1 free. So basically, you know, there's a mega savings there. And what are you going to do with that extra free ticket? probably pocket 250 bucks. But better than that, just imagine if you invited one of these people to the event. One of these people could make your life. And let me tell you, all of these people combined makes the most solid organization in all of Organo. They're all mega promoters, and you're going to see the best of the best of the best on stage.
Big vision casted. What I love about EricWorre is he's modeling what he does to us. He stretches us all the time. Man, he stretches us. And here's what I love. At a time where, you know, a lot of people are canceling or just doing a regular Zoom, he said, I'm going to step up to the plate. I'm going to model what I tell all the entrepreneurs that come forth in this industry to do, is think bigger, dream bigger, because it's possible. What you want wants you. And he decided to step into the power of having the biggest online event, simultaneous translation, private Zoom rooms. Like, there's more details behind this guy. It's not just a random Zoom, trust me. He's got plans for a lot of the leaders. And we're sorting that out with our CEO, with corporate. We don't know where they're at with that, but nonetheless, we'll probably have some level of Zoom room, even if it's just Dr. Bob and myself having our own Zoom room, right? That's very possible. I think at this point, we've probably qualified for that. And it's just going to be absolutely epic. So what I recommend is incentives will drive your business faster than anything else. Without an incentive and a target, you're going to take your sweet time with this. And it's a double-edged sword, because you will take your sweet time with it. So the best indicator of your income is your calendar. How many people, get 3 people in your team to commit to a ticket, connect with me, connect with Dr. Bob or Kelly Rakowski, payment plan's optional, and get your 4th one for free. Run a mini incentive for that 4th one within your team. Get creative. I'm here to brainstorm with you. Dr. Bob and Kelly can brainstorm with you. We're here to help you grow your business. We will match your efforts. So exciting times. Next 3 months, let's make it epic.
Diane, there's nothing else to do but put a little icing on that cake, because you made such a beautiful cake. EricWorre is the master trainer. Events are the master builders. He's going to bring in the best of the best in every category, the best in entertainment, the best in comedy, the best in building, the best in recruiting, the best in presenting, the best in storytelling, the best in motivating. And just one of those people is going to make your 250 worthwhile. But if you want to create your dream life, make it a goal, even if it's just packing your living room. Put 20 people in that living room for 3 days, someone's going to catch fire. And if we help, 3 8-hour days. And by the way, it'll be, I believe it's 9 to 5 Pacific time, right? So that's going to be noon until 8 Eastern time. Eric had someone from the Mastermind from Australia say, oh, for crying out loud, Eric, it's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning for me. And Eric said, well, if you flew over from Australia, what time would it be to your body? And they said, well, I guess it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning. He says, that's right. So guess what? Just count on going through that flip without having to go through the gymnastics of the time zone, 25 hours on a plane and sleeping in a foreign room, have an all-night party, and you will create the 2021 of your dreams. And, I went from being really frustrated when Eric said it was going virtual to being beyond excited and saying, okay, we're all in. We're going to pack the room. 3,000, Eric, let's crush 3,000. How many of those 3,000 are you going to get? I know Diane's going to get a ton of them.
I recommend that you carve out those 3 days and treat it like an event. Don't treat it like an event that you're watching from your living room. Even if you need to rent a hotel here locally in your local space, treat it like an event. When you pull yourself out of what's familiar, that's when you're stretched. You're not, dealing with dishes or dogs and cats and kids. Like, pull yourself out, find care, go down the street, get an Airbnb, I don't know, a hotel. I would make it a sacred time.
Yeah, Emily Morrow actually talked about, flying 20 people to a destination location and all just sitting in, kicking back. Well, I'll tell you what, our living room is going to be one of those destination locations. So if you want to come here and wine and dine with us for 3 days and mastermind, I think it's going to be a really good 3 days for all of us.
So I'm going to make another comment. Rod just asked the question, how many people in a hotel room? Here's what I recommend. If you are going to be in a living room, I don't recommend, or a hotel or wherever, there has to be a level of qualification. I think, you know, if you're a true leader and you want to grow this, people don't value what they don't work towards. It's just human nature. So if you are going to host a room, make sure it's, I don't know, set a standard for what's right for your market. And if you need to brainstorm ideas, I'm happy to do that with you or Dr. Bob or Kelly, whoever your upline is. But I would recommend either, whether they all have to be star achievers, they all have to be VIP, like something, like there has to be gold pack, I don't know. But they need to stretch for something. If they're not getting to get their own ticket, I recommend people actually get their own ticket. You got to hold your team at a standard. And here's the thing, did you hear what Dr. Bob said at the beginning? Complimentary tickets for rank advancements. That means anybody in your team that has not hit VIP, this is the time. If they haven't ranked to platinum, this is the time. The incentives are designed to build your business. By default, doing the activity you were supposed to do 6 months ago, a year ago, a day ago, a week ago, you now have incentive to get it done. And by the way, earn yourself a free ticket, which you can turn around and do something mini with your team, like stretch. That's what EricWorre teaches us to do. That's why there's 7-figure income earners in our group, is because we stretch. Just like he's stretching himself, I'm stretching everyone else on this call. So back to Dr. Bob.
Well, Diane, you said it best again. Someone's asked a question, but EricWorre, that's what he does. He stretches the heck out of me. He stretches me to the uncomfortable point, and I've got millions to thank him, you know, millions to show for it. So thank you, Eric. But whoever was asking that question, ask away.
Dr. Bob?
Okay. Yes.
Sorry. How do I leave here? Sorry. We were on the road. Sorry. Can you hear me, Dr. Bob?
Loud and clear, my wonderful friend.
Okay. Happy, beautiful evening, sir.
It is.
Tomorrow's September. Did you say something about a qualification to come to Houston? I might have, it could have been my sound. Did you say there's something going on in your living room?
We are going to have the ultimate network marketing party. And yeah, so you know what? You rank advance or you sell 3 tickets this week, you qualify. How's that? You got to get here on your own. But I'll tell you what.
If COVID let us fly, I would be there, Dr. Bob. But I love the idea. And I think, Diane, thank you. If you can, maybe we can talk later about, you know, qualifications. I'd love to throw some stuff out for the gang here for sure.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Bob.
You're welcome. All right, well then we're just simply going to wrap it up. It's a very, very easy action item. Start sharing, pack the house. If you have not yet attended a GoPro, you want to catch a YouTube video, you want to see some of the excitement. If you want someone like this on your team, that person is yet to be born yet, and all of these people and more were born at the GoPro event. That's why we promote. The best promoters get promoted, and the next diamond is waiting. Well, probably Emily, but the next diamond, besides Emily, is waiting to join us at that event, and they will be born there. So with that said, I like to finish like I always finish. I know that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. So taking one out of Rod's book, I'm going to put the panorama view on. And if you all want to unmute yourself and anybody wants to say hello or happy, beautiful evening or whatever, I certainly want to thank Diane for stretching me. Always. Thank you. You do so more than you know. And I really appreciate you. Yes.
If I allowed to take the opportunity, we've had a few people over the months that I've been here. September 12th will be my 1-year anniversary. And it's always interesting the last day of the month when you have people are like, should I order something? Should I wait till next month? And there's always
Thank you very much for everything.
But I want to just really quickly throw out, we actually had someone that wasn't worried about whether today is the first or the last day of the month. So we have a new VIP as part of the Go Getters team. Sue-Ann Roach Manning just hit VIP. So I just wanted to, I don't even know if she's on the call, but I just want to take the opportunity to congratulate our newest VIP. So, and I absolutely want to say, I used to be ashamed to say I was a Justin Bieber fan, but I was a believer, and now I'm a Emily Morrow believer. So Emily, epic, epic, epic. As we talked about GoPro tonight, young lady, GoPro made this whole company real for me. As I've said many times, Diane Solano had a picture of you in her presentation. You were just this young millennial holding a coffee cup with a ripped pair of jeans. And I remember seeing that picture so many Wednesday evenings. But when I got to meet you, it became real, because this whole industry is people act in direct relation and proportion to their belief in themselves and their ability to get a result. So if they believe they can get a result, they'll act. And if they don't believe they can get a result, they won't act. It was you, Emily. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dr. Bob. Everybody, GoPro, not optional.
I'm going to wrap it up with two things. And by the way, Laura Byack also hit Sapphire this month. And Laura has been awesomely plugged in, doing everything it takes. And she absolutely crushed it, breaking VIPs along the way. And keep in mind that, you know, one, Toronto welcomed her with open arms, even though she's cross-line technically to them. She gets most of her leadership direction across the pond from Ireland, right? From Eric Higgins and Heloisa and Lloyd Chambers and Pete Cohen. And Laura's proven that you can do it. So that I want to say. And then Emily, I want to put you on the spot just for a second. Can I get you to train within the next couple of weeks? So many people are asking questions. Can you talk about how to set up Foursquare, how to set up a landing page, and just literally maybe while you're teaching us, do a little quickie Instagram live, because you are so awesome at it. Can I get you to commit to one of those training days?
We'll find a day. I'm trying to even navigate. Christelle's been trying to get me to do that recording. And even that day they did the previous thing, I'm like, I have consults, so we just got to plan it in advance.
Well, it's, you know what, when the whole world wants a piece of you, in a good piece, in a good way, because
Yes,
you're bringing so much value. Oh,
happy to help.
You're leading the way, and the world owes you, you know, well, the world is paying you back because you are doing so much good work. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, Emily's committed to training when we can make it happen. Laura made Sapphire happen. Emily made Emerald happen. We see a lot of smiling faces. Dr. Paul gave me some great tips as he plugged into Richard Bliss. Rod always has magic. Diane always is magic. So with that said, I'm going to sign off with the classic phrase. I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful.
Good night, Dr. Bob.
Congratulations. Love you, Dr. Bob.
Good night. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. Thanks,
Good night, everybody.
Bye.